hours of succession for leading and guiding you every day. I want to draw your attention to the book of Job, beginning at the first verse, and I'm going to read 9 of those verses so that we can kind of let's get an understanding and an insight on the message today. Job, first chapter. Job, first chapter, verse 9 verses. There was a man in the land of Oz whose name was Job. That man was blameless and upright, one who feared God and shunned evil. And 7 sons, 7 daughters were born to him. Also his possessions were 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, 500 female donkeys, and a very large whole household, that he was the greatest of all the people of the East. And his sons would go and feast in their houses, each on his appointed day, and would sing and invite their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them, so that it was when the days of feasting had run their course. Job would sing and sanctify them, and would rise up early in the morning and offer burnt offerings according to the number of them. For Job said, "It may be my sons have sinned and cursed God in their heart." And thus Job did regularly. But here comes Satan. Here comes Satan. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. And the Lord said to Satan, "From where do you come?" And so Satan answered the Lord and said, "From going to and fro on the earth, from walking back and forth on it." And then the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is none like him on earth, a blameless and upright man, one who fears God and shuns evil." And so Satan answered the Lord and said, "Does Job fear God for nothing? Have you not made a hinge around him, around his household, around all that he has on every side? You have blessed the work of his hand, and his possessions have increased in the land. But now I tell you, here's what you do. But now stretch out your hand and touch all that he has, and he will surely curse you to his face." And the Lord said to Satan, "Behold, all that he has is in your power. Only do not lay a hand on his person." And so Satan went out from the presence of the Lord. I want to use for thought today Job's faith. Job's incredible faith. You may be seated. The book of Job stands by itself. It is not connected with any other book in the Bible. In the Hebrew canon, the book of Job is placed after the book of Psalms and after Proverbs. But in our Bible, the book of Job is mentioned before Psalms and before Proverbs. And the reason why is because the book of Job is a collection of divine morals. Not only that, it is a doctoral book.
Well,
It must precede the book of Psalms, which is devotional, and the book of Proverbs, which is practical. Listen to me today. At one time or another, almost everyone has felt like Job. While going through trials and times of suffering, we are often overwhelmed by self-pity. Otherwise, we say, why me? I remember when the doctor gave me the call and told me that I had prostate cancer, and I was in my 30s, and my father had been dying from prostate cancer. And the first thing out of my mouth was, why me? Why me? We want an explanation for why God allows trials and tribulations. All right. The book of Job records the troubling question, the terrifying doubt, and the very real anguish of suffering. Listen, just keep on living. That's right. If it ain't happening, keep on living. Because unexpected things in life will happen. Yes. We don't know when tragedy will strike or will come. But one thing about it is that Satan does not like us living and depending and trusting and believing in God. That's right. It is easy to serve God when everything is going well. That's right. But the Bible says that in Job 1 and 22 says, in all of this, Job did not sin nor charge God with folly. Right. Now let's look at verse 1 in Job. Because verse 1 tells us the character of this man Job. It tells us that he lived in the land of Oz, but it says that this man was blameless and upright. What it means that Job talks about Job's character, emphasizes how Job had a spotless character. That Job was straightforward. You go and look in Thomas' closet, you might find some skeletons in Thomas' closet. But you go and open up Job's closet, and you won't find no skeletons in Job's closet.
Come on, preacher.
Job was blameless before his human critics, but not completely sinless when it came down before God. Job 31 and 5 says, but Job said, if I have walked with falsehood, or if my feet have hastened to deceit, let me be weighed on honest scales, that God may know my integrity. In other words, let me be weighed, that it can be proven that no matter how dark the clouds get, let me testify that no matter how the billows roll, that Job continued to believe in God. Job 23 and 10 says, but he knows the way I take. And when he has tested me, I shall come forth as pure gold. Psalms 1 and 6 says, for the Lord knows the way of the righteous, and the way of the ungodly shall perish. Right. But let's look at verse 6. Not verse 6, but let's take a look at verse 4. Because verse 4 teaches us that Job was a man of wisdom. Verse 4 tells us that Job was a man of prayer. For verse 4 says that his sons would go and feast in their houses, and they would feast their sisters. But even after they got through feasting, Job would go to God in prayer for them. And said, it may be that my sons and my daughters have sinned and cursed God in their heart. And this Job did regularly. But verse 6, let's keep living. Listen, if you haven't had a faith test, but in reality, we are tested actually every day. But in verse 6, verse 6 tells us that there was a day that the sons of God came together, and Satan came also. It also tells us that he came and Jehovah God wanted to know why you at the meeting. One of the reasons why I want to know, Job, why Satan was there, because first of all, you were not invited to this meeting. Not only that, you remember Satan, why would I invite you when I've already kicked you out of heaven? But for some reason, you keep trying to get back in. You ought to be able to see by now that you can't get back in. But you hear God says to Satan, what you been doing? Because see, Satan is an adversary. That's how he signifies himself. When he tells God, here's what I've been doing. He said, I've been walking to and fro. I've been walking to and fro. I stopped by Andre's house. I left his house and went to Stephanie's house. And after I left Stephanie's house, I went to Kevin's house. And I couldn't find nobody. So I had no other choice but to come to the meeting. Am I right about that? Right. And so you hear God said to Satan, he said, well, have you considered my servant Job? Because he's blameless and he's upright. Now look at how Satan looks at why we serve God. In other words, Satan is saying, why would not Job serve you? Come on, somebody. Why would he not? It makes sense that he get up in the morning and pray. It makes sense that he worship you all during the day. Because all the time I've tried to get to him. I have not been able to get to him because you got him all his in. And my conclusion, because see, God's thoughts are higher than our thoughts. This proves that God's thoughts were higher than Satan's thoughts. Because Satan thought that it was not faith that kept him from getting in. It was not his integrity in faith that kept him from getting in. But the fact that God had him his in. Now notice something. He says, I'm going to and fro in the earth. He could not pretend he had been doing good. He would not own that he had been doing any hurt. But let's remember, while we're on this earth, we are always within his reach.
Come on, preacher.
All you gotta do is stop praying. All you gotta do is stop reading the word. All you gotta do is stop going to church. get in. With much cunning tricks, swiftness, and work, that we cannot be secure at any time. When you least expect, look out, Satan is coming. We've been walking to and fro and could not find no rest. But he was as much a fugitive and a vagabond as Cain was in the land of Nod. Let us remember Satan is going to and fro in quest of an opportunity to rob you of your joy. But here, hold on. But here is the question. Satan said, well, if you remove the hinge,
Yes, sir.
if you remove the fish, I'll be able to touch him. But listen, let me tell you, there are two different kinds of touch. There's a touch from God.
Come on.
And there's a touch from Satan.
That's right.
And you need to remember that Satan don't mean you no good. Ever since his rebellion, he's been against God. Satan has been God's enemy as well as our enemy. In fact, the Hebrew word Satan means adversary. In the story of Job, Satan remained true to his name by accusing Job and affecting Job with all kinds of suffering. However, Satan's power is not equal to God's power. The Bible says, resist the devil. And he will free. But if we get ready to continue on in the sermon today, finally, the spotlight focuses on Job. Am I right about it?
Yes, sir.
Said there was a day when the sons of God came together. The sons and daughters was eating, drinking wine at the elders' brother's house. And a messenger came to Job saying the oxen were plowing and the donkeys feeding beside them. When the Sabians raided them and took them away, indeed they have killed the servants with the edge of the sword. And I'm the only one that have escaped to tell you. And while he was still speaking, another came and said, fire fell down from heaven and burned up the sheep and the servants and consumed them. And I was the only one that was able to escape. And while he was still speaking, another came. One blow after another blow. And here's the thing about it. Andre, usually you don't take but one blow to knock us out.
Right.
Come on, somebody. But now blow after blow after blow. And while he was still speaking, another came and said, your sons and your daughters were eating and drinking wine. And a wind came and destroyed all of them. And you think by then Job would curse God and die. But the 20th verse said, then Job arose, tore his robe, shaved his head, and fell to the ground and worshiped God. And said, naked came out from a mother's womb, and naked shall I return. The Lord gave, and the Lord have taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. But then the 22nd verse says, listen, in all of this, blow after blow after blow. Says in all of this, Job did not sin, nor charge God with wrong. He did not sin. And so then Satan said, I know what it is. I know what it gets different. Y'all don't hear me. I know what it get Andre. I'll mess with his health. I'll take his health. And so the sons of God came together again. And God said, you can do what you want to do. Just don't take his life. And so the Bible says that Satan struck Job and struck him from the crown of his head to the sole of his feet. To the point that Job took sackcloth and ashes and threw on his head. Satan infected him with boils. Boils, can you imagine? Pussy boils. Big old yellow boils. Puffy boils. Spewing all out of his body. But yet, in all of this, Job did not sin. But you know, Job had first of all, when his wife saw him, his wife turned to him and said, Job, you ought to curse God and die. Job, look at what our God has done to you. And here, you're still on your knees. Look at what your God has done to you, Job. And you're still praying to God. Am I right about it? But then Job's 3 friends came. Lord have mercy. And listen, I tell folk all of the time. Don't come see me if you ain't got no good word. Sometimes no word is good enough at all. Because you see, when Job's friends decided to come see him, and they saw him from a distance. And when they saw him from a distance, they couldn't believe what they were seeing. Can you imagine? You see your friend, and he's in sackcloth and ashes. You see your friend, and he got boils all over his body. And you know, you thought he was a good man. You thought he was a righteous man. And so when they saw Job, the Bible says, look at in the Bible, they said they sat with Job for 7 days and 7 nights and did not utter a word. Am I right about it? And then after 7 days, Job begins to speak. And when Job begins to speak, Job cursed the day he was born. But then when Eliphaz, you see, all 3 of them had an explanation to why Job was suffering. Y'all don't hear me? If y'all see me going through something, I bet you everybody in this building will have an explanation to why this is happening. Eliphaz said, those who plow iniquity and sow trouble reap the same. And so, in other words, Eliphaz was saying, Job, you must have done something wrong. In other words, Job, there must be some skeletons in your closet. We thought you were holy, but what's happening to you right now tells us you're not holy. And so then you hear Eliphaz say, do not despise the chastising of the Almighty. And then you hear Job's reply saying, I love my life. Why don't you just leave me alone? And otherwise, Job was saying, you just might as well stay at home. with the words you just gave. And then Baldad, he came, and he had an explanation. He said, does God subvert judgment, or does the Almighty forbid? In other words, God is not going to put this judgment on you if you have not done something wrong. And then that says, Job, I tell you what to do. Seek God. Make your supplications be pure and upright. And then everything will be all right. But then you hear Job saying, I'm blameless. Show me why you covenanted with me. Yes. Am I right about it? Right. And then you hear Jophar says, for he knows deceitful men. In other words, Job, you must be deceitful. All right. He sees that God sees wickedness also and will then consider you. And so us Bible said, Job, all of this is happening because you must have done something wrong. Am I right about it? He said, Job, here's what I want to tell you to do. Job, prepare your heart and stretch out your hand toward him, and whatever you've done that's displeasing with God, put it away. And then you hear Job's reply. Job said, you are worthless physician. In other words, Job said, you are worthless friend. Yes. I desire to reason with you. But as I get ready to close today, stand on your faith. No matter how dark it is, no matter how the bills may roll, hold on to your faith. For I hear Job say, though he slay me, yet will I continue to trust in God. In other words, Job was saying he can keep on causing me trouble. He can keep on causing me suffering. I can be in and out of the hospital. I can have to take a medication every day. You don't hear me? But I'm going to still hold on to my faith. Am I right about it? And then finally, you hear Job saying, he says, I know that my Redeemer lives, and I'll see him in the latter day. And though these skin worms may destroy my body, one thing about it, I know one day, I'm going to be able to see him in my face. Am I right about it? And Job kept on living. And Job kept on being prosperous. And one day Job died. But out of heaven came a man named Jesus that kept Job's word and proved that faith will win out in the end. Am I right about it? Jesus, our Redeemer. Jesus, our Protector. Jesus, our salvation. Died, that I might have a right to the tree of life. Died, that I might be able to see him one day. Died, but not only did he die, but early. One Sunday morning. Hold on to your faith. Stand on your faith. Because in the end, there's a blessing coming. If you hold on.
Hold on to your faith. Hold on to your faith. For we know in the end we're going to win. There shall be a crown of life for those that endure to the end. It says the race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but to him that endured to the end. Doors of the church is open.